tonight we have our program. It's an MS Views Now program. MS Views Now is something that we began at the beginning of the pandemic, and we wanted to bring to light, different things that have to do with COVID as well as, related to COVID. It's not necessarily about the virus itself, but just related to COVID. Okay. And so tonight, I guess that most of you know me by now because I say the same thing. I guess most of you know me by now, but if you don't, yes, I'm Stuart Schlossman, president and founder of MS Views and News and an MS patient. You want this on? No. Okay. So, yes, we are supported by MS Views and News. That's what this program is about. So now we have our guest. So we have a really, really special topic for tonight. All right. It's not Home Alone. Well, it is Home Alone, right? It's Home Alone, but home, but not alone. Okay. And this is something that, I spoke with Jessica about doing this topic. It's so important for people that are home alone, but actually not alone. And that's what she's going to speak with you about, to speak to you about all the resources that are available for you, for you to be remotely connected to other people. So let me tell you a little about Jessica. Okay. First off, yes, she's our special guest tonight. She's been our special guest for much of this past year on many different programs, including the Wellness Series, which we began in August. And Jessica is a licensed clinical social worker. She brings over 15 years of experience as a social worker and mental health therapist working with people with neurologic disease. Jessica's professional passion has been to empower patients to explore and find emotional wellness while living with chronic and progressive diseases or disease. Hopefully not you're living with more than one disease, but in that case, she'll help you with that too. Let's welcome Jessica Thomas. And again, you could be home, but may not be alone.
All right. So yes, the topic, home and not alone. And so the reason why we came up with this topic is because a lot of us are really home alone these days. We've been a little bit more removed, resources have been a little bit different. Some of our in-person things that we used to do, we're starting to get some of those back, but it's been a tricky couple of years. And a silver lining of those couple of years is there's been a lot of resources that have become available. So we wanted to make sure that we were going to share the resources that are available to you. So before we get started, this is just a reminder that this will be recorded. So it will be on YouTube, on the MS Views and News YouTube channel, and usually it's in about a week that it gets posted. And so I just wanted to let you know, because sometimes I give resources and it might feel like you can't write fast enough, or you want to know more of these resources. What I can do also is try to see if I can get this PowerPoint to you, so that way you can have some of the links that I'll share as well. And then the other thing I like to share is that the question box is there. Please feel free to put questions in there. Also, if there's a resource that I don't mention, I really want you to make sure that you give it space to mention that resource. So if there's something you would like to share, put it in that question box, and Stuart can let us know in between at our little break times, and so that way we can share, because this is about building a community. So I wanted to start with saying you are not alone. And this is a really important thing. You may literally be at home by yourself. And with having MS, I know that's a difficult thing, but you are a part of a big community. And this community has resources, it has programs, it has services, it has connections with others. And so I hope that if anything from today, that you can be inspired to know that you are not alone. And so I wanted to share what does strong look like. Sometimes, especially if we're feeling lonely or disconnected, we a lot of times don't feel very strong. And so I think my idea is that strong looks like utilizing resources. Strong looks like sometimes sitting in the middle, like as we are during this period of time during the pandemic, and just kind of patiently waiting and trying, our best to work through this period of time. Strong looks like navigating the middle, which is messy sometimes. Strong looks like asking for help, and strong absolutely looks like using a resource. So I hope that you can take that with you as we share and as I share resources going along. So we're going to talk about resources today. I'm a clinical social worker. One thing I didn't share in the bio that Stuart read is that I have MS. So some of you, if you know me, you know I have MS. And if you didn't know that, you know that now. I am really passionate about resilience and helping people to be as resilient as possible. And as being a clinical social worker, one of the strengths of a social worker is we're really good at finding resources for people. And there is great resilience in being able to find resources. So today I'm going to share a little bit about locating resources. And I'm going to share a little bit about how to utilize the resources too. One of the things that it's important to know is that I'm not going to have all the resources on here. I wish I could, and I wish I did, but I did a lot of researching. I tried to pull up some interesting, unique resources that are a little bit different and a big array of wellness topics. But that's not going to be all the resources because communities are different, etc. So you may have some different resources that are available. But I focused on kind of 3 areas. One is on resources that are from MS Views and News. And because they have been rock stars in terms of providing patient education that is very specific to a whole array of wellness topics during this time. I also looked at other MS organizations because there are a lot of MS organizations that have resources for us during this time as well. And then community resources. So I focused a little bit on how to find certain community resources. And I'm going to not have all the tools for your specific community, but I do want to definitely stress that I will give you some tips on what to look for in your community. So I would like to give the idea that there is resilience in using resources. So there's resilience in needing help, looking for help, and there's also resilience in trying to find resources and being open to finding them. And then there is absolutely resilience in using them. And so in terms of being able to use resources, we'll go back just one more for a second, is to know that you're embracing emotional strength when you're utilizing a resource, when you're tapping into a program, when you're attending a program, when you're asking for help, you are actually defining an element of your emotional strength. And this is important because we can't do things alone. Often we need support and resources to help. And so I'm going to jump right in. We have different wellness topics, and I'm going to highlight some of the programs that I have noticed, that I have found, and some that are going to be relevant to community resources and MS Views and News and other organizations, etc. So I wish I could, it was interactive, so I could find out how many of you guys are utilizing these exercise resources through MS Views and News. These are incredible. They are absolutely incredible. We know that during COVID, that a lot of things changed in terms of how our exercise opportunities, classes, etc. I had a lot of MS patients that participated in water aerobics classes, and those it stopped during COVID. So MS, definitely has changed, or COVID has definitely changed some of the ways that we have been able to exercise. But MS Views and News has brought really, really good exercise resources and programs. So I wanted to highlight some of the things that are coming up, and these are, of course, on all-inclusive list, but they're very noteworthy. So in December, there's a Moving with MS with physical therapy. It's Dr. Gretchen. If you're not familiar with her, her energy is amazing, and this is a really good program to attend. The MS Views and News also has a yoga class. chair Pilates, and chair yoga. And so I encourage you to sign up for one of these programs. So that way you can be connected and engaged with specialists that understand multiple sclerosis and that understand the needs for exercise and movement. So I'm going to encourage you to utilize these resources. Now, for other resources, oh, and I wanted to go back to all of the programs on MS Views and News are recorded. So if you miss a class, you will be able to see the class by going to the MS Views and News YouTube channel. So I just wanted to mention that. So then other exercise resources. So what I have looked for is low impact classes. I know in my community, but this is also on YouTube, we have a program called Ahoy. And it is a very much a modified exercise program for people with disabilities or for people that are aging. And it's a really great program. It's available on YouTube, so it's very accessible. There's also silver sneaker programs, and this for people that are within the age requirement. Silver sneakers is a great exercise program. Sometimes your insurance benefit will pay for this, and it can help connect you to a gym that offers this program. I know it's age specific, but sometimes I've had some of my patients that go to the local YMCA still connect with some of the Silver Sneakers programs because they have programs and exercise classes that are very modifiable. And so while they might not enroll into a Silver Sneakers program, specifically because of their age, that they have access to that program because of needing modified exercise, etc. And then I also found that the MS Focus has a virtual exercise program as well for people with MS. And this program is free and ongoing, so you can go to MS Focus for that. Now, I would recommend if you are looking for an exercise program that you can definitely check out YouTube, check out MS Views and News YouTube page, and then also kind of see what your community is doing. And when I say see what your community is doing is you can call your local YMCA, your YWCA, and you can say, you know, I want to do exercise, or you can call your senior center too, depending on your age. And you can say, I really want to engage in exercise, but I need something virtually because I'm home. Either you're homebound or just because of COVID and the pandemic, and you're not comfortable going out. And see what they offer, because I think you'll be surprised that you might be able to find a couple of things. So the next resource is emotional resources. So, and if you can go back one slide, please. This is going to highlight a little bit of the emotional resources that I think are important. So one of them on the picture on the bottom left is wellness and holiday stress. And this is a program that's already done. It was completed, but it should be on the MS YouTube channel. And I want you to take a look at it because stress is so, really impacts people with MS. And so I put it in emotional resources because managing and figuring out how to manage stress and the holidays is really important. And right now we are in the middle of the holidays. The holiday season is next week, Christmas if you celebrate it. And so we want to make sure that we're managing stress well, because stress and MS don't go hand in hand. So I wanted to highlight that program. But I also want to highlight a program that I've been doing monthly, and it's the MS Mental Wellness Chat. And this has been a very special program. And the reason being, it's a monthly program, and we have specifically every single month have come up with topics that are very relevant to emotional wellness and MS. And we spend an hour talking about it. Now, tonight's program, I'm mostly talking to you the whole time, but in the MS Mental Wellness chat, we use the chat box, and we have a little bit of dialogue. So I have the capacity to help connect people to one another in the sense that I might ask a question and participants answer, and I help to connect some of the experiences that people are going through. So I think it overall has been a great program. The next week, we're actually going to be talking about depression and MS, and this is probably a pretty timely thing to talk about. Many people can deal with seasonal depression, and so and a lot of people with MS deal with depression in general. And so if you are dealing with depression or you want to focus on mental wellness in general, I highly recommend this as a resource. It has been a great monthly program. So the next slide, we're going to talk a little bit about other emotional resources. So I put a link on here. I was trying to find free resources for people with MS. And with emotional wellness, sometimes there's not a lot of free resources just specifically for MS. But I was able to find an organization called walkin.org that offers free remote counseling during COVID. And I thought that was pretty important to share with you. And so I included the link, but it's really www.walkin.org. And you can sign up to see if you can be eligible for some of the free counseling. And the counseling is either done by phone or computer, and it's been during COVID. Now, other ways, other resources that you can look for counseling would be is to contact United Way 211. In your community, you should have access to United Way 211, and you would be able to speak to either looking up online or be able to speak to someone on the phone that could look for counseling resources for you. I also recommend, if you have healthcare insurance, that you can contact them and say, I am in need of counseling or support group, and see what they can connect you with. I know in my area, we have local mental health organizations, and during COVID, they have been really great to offer telephone peer support programs. They've also offered some really good support group and resilience-based mental wellness classes. And so I highly recommend just seeing what's out there, finding what's out in your community, and seeing how you can participate. And then the final thing is that you can, if you need help with with counseling, or you're thinking, I need some emotional resources, I also encourage you to talk with your MS specialist or a social worker, because they are going to be resourceful enough in your community to be able to connect you. I'm going to talk about support groups in a little bit, and I know that's a part of emotional resources as well. But for a moment, I'm going to take a break and just ask, Stuart, do we have any questions?
We have one person that wrote in. It's not a question. Terry wrote, it's not just the age to be in silver sneakers, silver fit now. It also includes disabled people on most Medicare programs. So do you have anything you would like to follow up on that?
No, I'm going to say thank you for sharing that, because I didn't know that, and that's why I want people to share things. So thank you very much, Terry.
Okay. And then I just wanted to follow up on some of the things that you mentioned early on about your PowerPoint and how it could be sent out to everybody. So everybody that's registered for today's program tonight will get a copy of your PowerPoint, okay, of tonight's program. All right. And then also I wanted to let you all know that not all of our exercise programs are on our YouTube channel. All right. For insurance reasons, for the person that does yoga and for the person that does PT, yoga being Megan Weigel and PT being Gretchen Holly, we could not just put that onto our YouTube channel because they need to monitor more or less what it is that you're doing. So if you're registered for the series, then yes, you get the programs. You get a link to the program, but it's not just openly available for everybody that's on, that looks at our things on YouTube. So for you to be on the program, just know that Mondays are Moving Mondays for MS, by MS Views and News. And we either have PT programs, or we have the yoga program, or we have the Pilates program. And yoga and Pilates are chair, like like Jessica described to you. They are chair Pilates and chair yoga. And the physical therapy program is the PT that I'm talking about. And again, those are on the different Mondays of the month. And all you do is go to our website to see what it is, and you can get registered for those programs. So the only one that is on our YouTube channel on one of the playlists is Pilates. So if you want to look up Pilates, you can find that there. Okay. And that's all I wanted to say about that.
Yes, thank you, Stuart.
That's the end of page 1 of notes.
Okay, very good, very good.
Right.
And thank you, Stuart, because that all that information is very helpful. When you're looking at resources, sometimes you don't get the whole picture, so I appreciate that. So we're going to stay on emotional resources for just one more second. I also just wanted to share that, and I think this is important, if you at any point have been dealing with any significant depression or anxiety or feelings of self-harm, I want you to contact your doctor. Actually, I want you to go to 911 or your local emergency room. But there's also a crisis line, and I will. There is a number that you can text 741-741, and I will make sure that this gets on the PowerPoint. And you can text the word crisis, and somebody will contact you. But I just want to continue to stress the importance of reaching out if you are emotionally struggling during this time. And if you are, to know that you're not alone, that's been something that many people have dealt with in terms of emotionally having a lot more challenges during this time. So the next resource is just some physical health resources. So I just spent some time looking at MS Views and News, and so these are some of the upcoming programs that are coming up, and I just wanted to highlight them just to continue to promote some of the physical health programs, and I'll share some later, some other MS organizations, some of the programs that they're doing as well. And then there's nutrition resources. So this one I was interested as I was doing some research on this. So I'm highlighting a blog. This blog is msbites.com. Mona Bostic, who is a registered nutritionist, and she actually has MS too. So I really like to work with her because she has a very good sense of MS, but she has a really interesting MS blog. And I think right now, I just did a picture of one of her blog posts, overcoming obstacles to eating healthy with MS. And I think right now during COVID, during this time of the pandemic, it's been challenging, right? And maybe you've been able to keep perfectly to a good diet. If you're like me, I've struggled a little bit because at one point I was snacking a little bit too much because I'm at home a little bit too much. And so I wanted to share just some nutrition resources. So another resource that I came across was dealing with the Quarantine 15. And so there is a Facebook group that was started by a nutritionist to kind of help with this idea that the Quarantine 15, and what that kind of means is that some people during COVID have gained a little bit of weight. And so this nutritionist started this Facebook support group to kind of help people when the pandemic started. And so I recommend trying to find, if it's nutrition-based resources, to find a group, find some support. And in your community, you may have something specifically. And I know that a lot of the MS organizations have programs and articles, etc. But I tried to find as much interactive stuff as I could, and I thought the Facebook group was a good resource as well. And again, if you utilize any resources, feel free to share too. So now we're going to talk a little bit about social groups and social resources. So I'm going to highlight MS Views and News. They have a MS Patients Voices program, and while this is not a support group, it's not a support group at all, I put it here for a reason, because I have some of my patients that actually attend to some of these programs, and they feel so much better being connected because they don't feel alone. They're hearing voices. They're hearing the experiences from other people. I have a male that I work with, and he got to see some men talk about some topics that are very specific to men with MS. And it was really cool that he felt connected to that program. And it was almost like kind of talking to someone about it, something personal. So I put it there for that reason. Although it's not a support group and it's not interactive in that sense, it's a very great way to connect with and hear from other people that are living with MS on some really cool topics. Now, I found another online MS support group. And I'll highlight that in a second. But what I do want to recommend is that if you're a part of a support group, or if you were a part of a support group, your group may have went online already. 2 years has went by, so it might have went online. If it did not go online and it kind of your group dissolved, to know that there's a possibility of joining some other online groups. And the reason is because when with things being remote, things become a lot more accessible. And so it might not be the specific group that you are a part of, but to be open that there might actually be groups that you could be a part of. So I came across this group. It's Multiple Sclerosis Discord. And this is a support group that offers support for people. It's a volunteer-led community. And there's apparently some different aspects of it, that there can be like event chat where someone can, a chat room where they can go and just kind of talk about things talk about small victories, etc. And there's also volunteers that are available one-on-one for people needing individual support. So I put the link there. I thought it was very neat and of interest, especially right now. And so I wanted to share that. And then other support groups and social resources. So if you contact the other MS organizations, I'll share a little bit more about them in the program today. But then there's also the website that is on the second bullet, and Can. That is a program that's a peer-to-peer program for people living with various health conditions, and so this again is like a volunteer program, but they have a MS specific support group. So I wanted to share that as well. And there are, definitely caregiver resources and support groups through all the MS organizations. United Way 211 could definitely connect you to other support groups, maybe not MS specific ones unless they're directly in your community, but other ones through other organizations such as the NAMI, the National Institute of Association of Mental Illness. And then I found that the Reeves Foundation has a support group for people that are affected by paralysis. And so I just wanted to share these. These are, this is not all of the support groups. It's not an all-inclusive list. But doing some research as a social worker, this is kind of some of the things that I found that I thought were noteworthy to share with you guys. So I'm going to take just a moment here, and this is going to sound like a deviation, but it's going to lead to some resources too. And we're going to talk a little bit about journaling. Journaling can be a very therapeutic thing to do. There are many benefits to journaling. I'm not going to read all of these, but your mood can improve. You can definitely develop a sense of gratitude through journaling. It can help you process and vent out something that you've been holding in. Journaling can help you sleep better, especially if you need to get things off of your chest, and it can, and have a peace of mind for the night. And it can help you with mindfulness. And so there's a lot of benefits here to journaling. Now, I'm next month for the mental wellness chat, I'm going to focus a little bit more for the depression piece, but I wanted to share just a couple of tips with journaling. So if you've never journaled before, and I have many patients that haven't journaled before, I like to give them these strategies to journal. So it's called write. So the W stands for what topic? What topic do you want to write about? What's going on? How do you feel? What are you thinking about? What do you want? The R stands for review and reflect. Here, close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, focus, and then you can start to think and answer these questions or these statements. I feel, or I want, or I think, or today, or right now, or in this moment, and thinking about what would follow after that. And then the I for write is investigate your thoughts and feelings. So this is when you start writing and you keep writing. And you write, I like for people to write until they just can't write anymore, until they're done writing about it. And then the T is for time yourself. Now, I don't think you necessarily always have to time yourself, but I do think it's good to, to at least give yourself a couple minutes to journal each day. And then the E is to exit smart. And so exit smart is maybe coming up with a conclusion. One thing I'm thankful for today is, or one thing I've learned by journaling today, or one reflection that I have, or the steps I need to take are. So I'm going to talk more about this in a different program, but I wanted to highlight some of the benefits of journaling and help you to have some tips to journal as well. And the truth is that sometimes journaling can help you not feel as alone, because it can give you a safe place to let go some of your emotions and feelings, or it can give you a place to be creative as well. But with that said, I also was able to find some free journaling and expressive writing classes. And so the first link was a free art journaling class. And then the second link here that I shared, that I looked at, there was like tons of free writing and journaling links, which I just thought were pretty cool. So if you had an interest in, say that you had an interest in journaling just to journal, that's one thing. But also if you had some interest in just writing in general, telling your story, sometimes that's very therapeutic for people to do, or being creative. I have someone that I work with that creates stories and around an action figure, and that gives that person like a different identity to work through some of the challenges that the person has. And so I want you to look up these resources if you have any interest in learning a little bit more about journaling or expressive writing. And some of these programs are classes type programs that will connect you to other people. And then some of them are more independent study type programs as well. Now, I'm going to take a breather here for a second and ask Stuart, do we have any questions, any insight, any notes that you took, anything that needs to be shared?
All of the above. See, caught you off guard, just like you caught me off guard. Okay. So we have a few people that did write in things. Let me get to those first, and then I'll get to my notes, all right? All right, so first, Cindy writes, thank you, Jessica, for sharing such valuable resources. It definitely helps for sure. Thank you, Cindy.
Oh, thank you.
All right, next, Jeffrey is saying, thank you for all this great info. Did you happen to come across any resources on handling/overcoming a divorce? Don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but the wife has filed for divorce. Let me get to the bottom of this. Thanks a ton.
Okay, so I don't have anything on here for divorce specifically, but what I can tell you, if you chime into the next mental wellness chat, and when I'm talking about depression, I'm going to talk some about life changes, and I might be able to try to find some resources there. But some of the emotional wellness resources that I have would help. But no, I don't have anything specific to divorce today.
I don't think, I was going to say, I don't think Jeffrey wants to wait a month to see what's going to come out of your next program. I think he may need things a little bit quicker. So I'm going to suggest that you contact somebody, maybe an arbitrator, okay, that's in your area. I don't know what state you're in. I don't know what the laws are of your state, but you may want to contact a lawyer that may be an arbitrator to see what they can do to help you. That's not going to cost a fortune from either end, okay? So that might be something that you wish to do.
Yeah, and then a counselor could definitely help with some of the emotional challenges of navigating through, a big change like that.
Okay. All right. Next, I love all the promotion you're doing for MS Views and News, Jessica. I really adore everything that you're saying. This is nothing bad. You don't have to look so sad. But I want to let you know you missed a Compass to Care program on your list of things that you had 4 events coming up. And you had, I don't remember what you had at the beginning, but then you showed Compass, 2 different programs happening in Greenville, South Carolina, and one in February at a location, but we're actually starting in January. So we have one on January 13th in Gainesville, Florida. All right. So for anybody that lives within 4 hours of Gainesville, that's the place to go. Okay. Gainesville, Florida on January 13th. And you'll find that on our website soon. It's not there yet. Another thing, I want to let you know that MS Patients Voices, I was so tickled to hear you talk about that, because that was an event that I wanted to do, and a lot of people were against me wanting to do this, especially the way I started with me, Damien, and Tyler talking about men's issues with multiple sclerosis that concern our home lives, our sexual lives, our social lives, or things like that. And people said, you're not going to get anybody on there for this. And we had almost all women the first time, almost only women the first time. And it was like pretty incredible, the questions that came at us concerning the things that we spoke about, sexual problems and whatnot, that the women were more in tune with it than the men were. Again, there were like no men on that first program. The second time that the 3 of us did the program, which was just a few months later, we had a lot of men on the program, and it equaled with the amount of women on there. And it was really good to see the men asking very similar questions to what the women were asking the first time, but it let us know that what we're talking about really was making an impact. All right. And so then we did it a third time. And it was after that third time that I said, this could be good. So let me see about inviting in other MS patients that do other things, for the MS community, whether as a volunteer or in a paid position, where they're working a job in something that has to do with multiple sclerosis patients. And this way we can, let the world see that just because you have MS doesn't mean life stops. Okay. There's a life to live. And that's what we wanted to show everybody, that there are lives to live. And there are so many different people that we're interviewing for this once a month that are just involved in so many different roles that it just gives people an idea. It opens them up to things that they could be doing. And, not just on the personal grounds. I mean, that I'll get back to again. Maybe I'll have another Tyler and another Damien on there, and we could talk about that again. Or, it's a year update that I have to do with them anyway. So we'll do that sometime in 2022. But just bringing in everybody else. So I was very tickled by you bringing that up, and I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. So we are going to pick back up with art therapy now. So art therapy it can be something that's very beneficial to people with chronic conditions, I recommend it as a therapeutic approach to deal with stress. And so it's a creative outlet. It overall can be a very good thing for helping with mood, etc. So the next slide says how to find art therapy programs. I did some research and I found some free art therapy programs. These are not specific to MS specifically, but they are free art therapy programs. So I think it's worth looking into to see what is available. Some of your local community resources may have some free art therapy programs as well, but I tried to just do some research. And then I came across a MS Wellness Art Therapy program. And I know that the first class has already happened the other day. And I had one of my clients attend this class because he is very much interested in art, and I thought this would be a great outlet for him. And sometimes when I look at resources or find resources for people, I don't know all the details because I've just done some research, but I haven't talked to the person that is coordinating it, so I don't know that much. But the person that attended this program doesn't live in the state where this program is being held, or by the healthcare system that is hosting it, et cetera, or university, wherever Jefferson is. But my patient wrote me back and he said, that was fantastic. I loved it. I learned so much. It was great. So I'm sending that kind of encouragement, because sometimes when you come across a resource, it might feel like, ooh, that's not close. I don't know. Maybe they're not even really doing it. It might feel very foreign. But it's proof here that you can find things sometimes by looking. There's an MS Wellness Art Therapy program, and there is another class that's the week after Christmas. So if you're interested in art therapy, I encourage you to contact the person here and sign up, because I heard it's a really good class. So we're going to move on to financial resources. This, again, is not an inclusive list. This is just some resources that I thought were noteworthy. MS Views the News has a Caring for the Caregiver, talking about financial rights. I thought that was a great place for this to be here. Also, United Way 211 is going to know about your local community and the local financial assistance and resources. The MS Views the News program is not financial assistance. It's just really about a program about financial rights and geared towards for caregivers. But then other MS advocacy organizations have some financial resources as well. I'm going to go over those in a second. But I wanted you to know, because right now too, financial issues are a problem, or there are some concerns with finances still, regardless of COVID. So, and there are definitely specific financial assistance resources because of COVID too. And so United Way 211 will probably be your best resource of finding that out. And so then notable mentions, I feel like I could go on and on and on about different resources, but these are just a couple of things I wanted to share. Your library resources. I know for me, checking out audiobooks has been really therapeutic during COVID. And it's for myself, but also for patients that I work with. I recommend audiobooks because it's a great way to escape a little bit into a different story, or you can learn about a different topic, etc. And so I know that the audiobooks have been very helpful for many people that I work with, and including myself. And I encourage that. Also, just going to the library, checking out books and bringing them home, is a great resource too. But there's been something kind of special about audiobooks during this time. And then there are, notable mentions, Senior Center. I do work with an aging population, so I tend to know a lot about aging as well. And the Senior Center in our area has had a lot of resources that have been remote. And so I think it's just kind of tapping in what is in your community, what's available. And then also enrichment classes. So this might be the best time to learn a new hobby, or learn how to do something that you wanted to do, and enrichment classes can offer you that. So some of the resources, I've talked a lot about MS Views the News, and I just wanted to reiterate that that MS Views the News Learning channel. I like their website a lot. The website keeps you up to date with all the upcoming programs, and I do look at it for my patients to tell them what's going on. But then I just took a couple of screenshots, and we can go through just kind of these 3 slides pretty fast. You can go and you can do a search for a topic, or a search for a speaker, but you can see that there's all sorts of different topics, like the Chair Pilates is there, or the Social Security Disability Specialist Program. There's the patient leaders, Damien, that Stuart was talking about. There's Dr. Bostic here. There in the next one, there's There is MS Patients' Voices, Let's Discuss MS and Aging, Managing Mood Changes with MS. So there are a lot of different topics and programs that you have access to. And I think that's important to know that at any time you can expand your knowledge base on information about MS in a topic that you're interested in learning about. So I'm going to talk next about a couple of the other MS organizations. This, again, is not a exclusive list of all the services they offer or programs. I'm just highlighting a couple of things, and really more from my social work brain of kind of the things I would want to highlight. So MS Association of America, they have a helpline and a chat. They have equipment assistance. They offer an MRI fund. And they also have, information, that literature that you can read. They have online videos and webinars, etc. So I encourage you for all of these MS organizations to look them up as well. But I just wanted to highlight a couple of the things that I usually would recommend to patients. And then there's the MS Foundation. They offer an emergency assistance grant, a transportation assistance grant, cooling grants, computer program, a Brighter Tomorrow grant. They have some support groups, and they offer a assistive technology, which is a grant, and then a healthcare grant. So I just wanted to highlight those and mention them. You can find more on their website. And then the National MS Society has MS navigators that you can call and speak to, and they can help provide resources either through what is available in your community, all the way through what the National MS Society can help with. They also have a case management program, and they offer crisis intervention in times of need. And then there's Can Do MS, and they have educational programs. They also have a lot of library articles written by different MS experts. They have question and answer area that on their website that you can ask the MS Can Do team and other professionals. And then, of course, they have webinars that have been recorded that you can look back on. So that's a lot of resources, right? And so between all of the MS resources, I think it's important to know that, again, you are not alone. That you're a part of a bigger community filled with resources and services and programs, et cetera, that are here to help you. And that there's great resilience in learning how to find resources, and there's greater resilience in actually using the resources. And so I wrote the chat box connect, but I am going to have you think about, and you can write in the question box actually, what is a resource that you learned about today that you wanted to use, or that you're going to try to look into, or what is one thing that that you're planning on sharing with someone else? And so I'm going to turn this over to Stuart again. I don't know if anybody's going to respond to those questions, but we may have other questions. But as we think about the programs, I want you to think about, like, okay, from what I learned tonight, what am I going to keep for myself and what am I going to share with someone else?
Hi, I'm back. I'm in a safe environment, but I just wanted to show everybody some nice decor, okay? Yes, it's nice to have matching ensemble of masks and clothing, right? So, okay. So we have a few people that wrote, well, two people that wrote, and then I have something to say as well. With regard to the art therapy class, there's another resource. There's a woman named Audrey Weiss. She's on Facebook. I don't know, how many people might be on Facebook or what. You could find her on there. She's actually out of South Florida. If you can't find her, you can write to me, and I can give you a direct link to her, or I could have her contact you direct. And I have no idea if there are fees. And by the way, with some of the resources like that you gave, are there fees attached?
Not anything that I gave you. I didn't put anything on there that would have fees attached. Some of maybe one or two of the art therapy programs, you get like a free couple introduction classes or something. Right. But no, I really am not big on things that have fees attached.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Well, and I don't know if Audrey Weiss charges or not. I have no idea, but I could always get you in touch with her if you wanted to. All right. So next we have a Vera who's saying, I think that there's a real need for free legal help fighting discrimination and other issues with having a disability. And then I asked her if she has anything further to say about that. And she said, no, but I had good luck. I had no luck getting help when I had problems with my local government, whatever. Sure. Yeah. With my local government. That would be Miami, I believe. Right. Oh my God. No wonder you didn't get any help. Right. All right. So she wrote, it's expensive fighting at City Hall. But what do you have to say about that? Do you know any recourse what people have for any, fighting with discrimination?
So, I live in North Carolina, so I feel like North Carolina is a little bit different than Miami in some senses. But in our area, I would recommend talking with your local legislator about it. And, I have worked with advocacy issues related to accessibility, et cetera. But I would start with maybe the town manager or find someone that's ready to listen to you. But I wouldn't stop either. It's not okay to have discrimination. It's not okay to just say it's a bad government or a bad system. In our area, legal aid maybe would be someone who I would consult with as well. But I encourage you to not give up because it sounds like it's something that's important and there should not be discrimination.
What if getting hold of an ADA attorney?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be good. In our area, and it's so hard because I don't want to I just know our area so well. We have a free legal resource that I can connect someone to for 10 minutes where they get free legal resources for 10 minutes. But I know that's only exclusive to my area. But there may be something, and legal aid could connect you to that too. And with legal aid, they would connect you to probably a disability attorney.
Okay, great. So another person, Tammy, wrote art therapy classes. I learned a lot about art therapy classes and want to attend. So I don't, Tammy, it's up to you where you go. All right. And we'll leave that up to you. A person named Nora wrote awesome information. Use the MS Bites. I don't know what that is. Share info about art therapy. Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay. So I don't know what MS Bites are. So somebody's going to have to educate me.
MS Bites is that blog I was sharing by Mona Bostic, who's someone that I know.
Okay, great. Thank you. And another person, Rhonda, also wrote, look into attending the art therapy class. So, wow, everybody likes the art therapy class. I draw stick figures, so I could never do art therapy.
Well, I'm loving that you guys are taking that resource with you. That's perfect.
That's great. And again, we will, for everybody that's online tonight, I will find a way to get you the Jessica's PowerPoint here. And so we'll get that to you so that way you could have it available. All right. But if you do not get it in a few days, just write to me and let me know. All right. That would be the best way. In addition to the MSF having a cooling program, I think the MSAA also has a cooling program.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Okay. And of course, the National MS Society, they don't have a cooling program. And I don't know if they have an MRI program, but they've got a stadium filled with social workers. All right. And you could always call there if you feel depressed in any way, shape, or form. You could always call there. It doesn't matter that it's not MS. They're there to help you. Or you could call Jessica. She'll take your calls, right?
Yeah. No, and that's those MS navigators that I was talking about. Right. So that's a great resource.
Right. It is a great resource. All right. Now, Terry writes, there's a Terry writing, employment attorney as well can find a pro bono legal aid through your county and get half free. I don't understand what that means. So
I kind of get that. So you could go through legal aid to find an employment attorney, and it looks like it would be at a reduced cost. So it's just a resource sharing. That's great. Thank you, Terry.
Okay. She wrote a half hour. Get half free. Half hour.
Half hour free.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Terry. All right, so I don't have any more notes to go through on my own half. If anybody else has questions, now's the time to bring it up. People want to know about audiobooks for different things. Is there any audio learning on any of the topics that you encourage people to learn more about?
Oh my goodness, yes. What I recommend is that your local library, to contact them, because the audiobooks, the ones that I check out, I'm about free resources, because I check out and read a lot of books. But so I connect to this app called Libby, and on this app, it connects to all the audiobooks within our library system in North Carolina. And so I'll just put in art therapy. There'll be books, or I'll put in romance if I wanted to listen to something about that, or emotional wellness, or mental health, or depression. You would be amazed at all the resources that are available. I personally recommend going through your local library, just because that's a free access. You can always, download different audiobooks from other resources, but then they start to get expensive, and that's not my style. I like free.
Okay, so the question came back again about sexual relations with spouses. Is that available to be like on an audiobook?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's, definitely, the Joy of Sex is on audiobook. There's definitely communication and relationship, love languages is on there. So any of those things, you would probably find an audiobook on sexual dysfunction. It's not going to be specific to MS, but you probably could find resources via audiobook.
Great, thank you. And I didn't quite hear what you were saying about the YouTube channel, about the accessibility of all the videos on there. I don't know if you mentioned anything about the playlists that are on there. It's easier to find a series of, like you were pointing out, to specific videos, but if on there we have what's called playlists. If you click on the tab for playlists, then it gives you all the different things like the Pilates. So you click on the Pilates playlist, and then you only have to look at the different Pilates classes. If you want to see something specific about the wellness programs that Jessica speaks about with us, for the health wellness series, then you click on specifically that playlist, and it will only show you what she spoke about, month to month with the different programs, and so on. So you'll see, I don't remember, there's like 8 different playlists, maybe 10, maybe 12. I really don't know the amount of playlists that are on there, but our MS symposiums are all on a separate playlist. So you could find out, and just devote time to different things just to learn, what's available and what happened once upon a time. Now I've got more people writing in, okay? So Cindy is writing again, and she says, Jessica spoke about MS Navigators. What MS Navigators have to offer? She mentioned crisis intervention. At what point would someone call, meaning how do they define a crisis, and is it a 24-hour service?
It is not a 24-hour service. Crisis, if you're having a medical crisis, you need to go to your emergency room. If you're having a mental health crisis, you need to probably go to your emergency room or contact 911. A crisis might be, it is hard because we all define crisis very differently. If you're in a need of resources, or if your stress level is really high, or you just don't know how to solve a problem that you have right now, that's related to your MS, or maybe loosely related to your MS. Maybe financially you're at risk for your lights being cut off or something like that. That would be a good use of calling the MS Navigator, or you're feeling very stressed out because you don't know what to do about insurance changes and electing an insurance coverage. The MS Navigator would be good for that too. So anything, I would say crisis, but not medical emergency and not mental health, where you're not at imminent risk. But I think otherwise it's good. But it's not a 24/7.
Okay, great. So Vera wrote in again, and I have to read this out loud, even though she was writing it to me. But thank you, Vera, for saying this. It's very important that I do hear these things as well. And by the way, Cindy says thank you to you for your answer. Okay, but Vera wrote, thank you, Stuart, for all the years of work that you've devoted to this cause. What you have done is amazing. Thank you, Vera. Thank you very much for that. And for those that are online that don't know, yes, I started this in Our first program for MS Views and News was in 2010. And since that time, this year, we surpassed 1,000 educational programs that we have done in 11 years, okay? So, and this year was a huge year because for those that have been on the programs the last few weeks or the last few times that we've been on, when this year comes to a close, we'll have finished 111 programs this year. Just this year, all right? That's pretty amazing. So, I want to thank Jessica for everything that she's done. I want to thank everybody that's been online tonight. I want to let everybody know that, yes, we mentioned that there are a few more programs left for this year, but I won't be on them. In fact, here's the downer, right? This is my last program this year. Got you all on that one. Got you all on that one. This is my last program for this year, all right? And that I'm on as well. And so, we do have our guests that will be handling the other programs. Jessica will be on next week doing the health and wellness series. Also, Gretchen Hawley will be on next week with the, is that next week or this week? Yeah, that's next week. Or is that this week? I don't even know what day it is. But yes, Gretchen will be on next week and with physical therapy, and then Jessica. And then after Christmas, we have Megan Weigel. And again, those programs are all being handled without me, fortunately. All right. And so, yes, tonight is my last program for this year. And so I wanted to say, thank you, Jessica, for everything you've done. And thank you again for everybody that is online tonight. And I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to those that celebrated that recently. Happy Kwanzaa for who will be celebrating, that as well. And again, Happy New Year to you all. I hope that everybody comes back feeling very healthy, very blessed, and that next year is filled with prosperity for all. And I will say at this point, good night.